stand up and do something. Stand up and do something. Just do something then.
Today we're looking at TikToks that will make you rethink everything.
Can you say Joy Lane?
What?
Can you say Joy Lane?
Joy Lane?
Yeah. She's the reason why this is about to happen to you.
Thank you to all the channel members for support. We've been hitting 2,000 likes consistently, so let's try to aim for 3,000 likes, because why not? So if you're seeing this video, just like it. Like, might as well like it right now. Like, why would you want to like it later? If you guys haven't subscribed, remember to smash that subscribe button. Let's go!
Do you know why Air Force One can never be shot down? First, its fuselage is covered with a layer of high-strength armored plating. Even in the event of a nuclear explosion, it remains unfazed. This armor can effectively withstand shockwaves and radiation. Additionally, it is equipped with state-of-the-art jamming systems that can interfere with incoming missiles, causing them to deviate from their intended targets. If all else fails, it can deploy flares and chaff to further disrupt missile guidance. So, it's highly unlikely that a missile could bring it down. Moreover, Air Force One is packed with advanced communication equipment, including 87 telephones, all integrated with a cutting-edge long-range communication system. This ensures constant contact with the ground. In case of any unusual situation, fighter jets are ready to scramble immediately to escort the presidential aircraft, ensuring its safety at all times. For added security, there are actually two identical Air Force One planes, indistinguishable from the outside. Both are powered by 4 high-thrust engines and can even be refueled mid-air by tanker aircraft. This means Air Force One has the range to reach virtually any corner of the globe. As for the interior, it's the epitome of luxury. It features everything you'd expect, including a presidential suite, a fully equipped kitchen, a medical center offices, and conference rooms. It's essentially a flying White House.
I kind of wonder, like, could Air Force One do any like crazy maneuvers to escape missiles? I don't think so, right? I feel like it's too big for it to really be doing like some.
December the 8th, 1980. The Dakota Building, New York, 10:50 p.m. John Lennon and Yoko arrive back home after spending a busy evening in a recording studio working on his latest album. He intends returning the following morning. Neither of them take any notice of the solitary figure waiting near the entrance. It's Chapman. Yoko gets out first and heads into the building. She walks straight past Chapman without looking at him. As Lennon follows her, he hears a voice call out his name. He turns to be confronted with the horrifying sight of a man about 20 feet away, pointing a handgun at him. Without saying a word, he opens fire. Lennon is hit 4 times and collapses in a pool.
Did you know in 2013, a man named Edward Snowden exposed the darkest secrets of the U.S. National Security Agency? He claimed that the government was secretly spying on millions of people across the world, monitoring their every move, every message, every call. The moment those files went public, Edward Snowden became the most wanted man by the U.S. government. The U.S. government declared him a traitor and made it clear he had to be captured at any cost. Before it was too late, Snowden knew he had to escape the U.S. On May 20th, 2013, he quietly boarded a flight from Hawaii to Hong Kong. There, he booked a hotel room and secretly met with journalists, handing over thousands of top-secret NSA documents. Within days, his leaks exploded in global headlines. He had exposed a worldwide surveillance program, and now he was in serious danger. Fearing arrest or extradition, Snowden left Hong Kong just weeks later, heading for Ecuador with a stopover in Russia. But when he landed in Moscow, his U.S. passport was canceled, leaving him stranded at the airport. For weeks, Snowden was stuck in limbo, nowhere to go, no country willing to risk helping him. Eventually, Russia granted him asylum, and to this day, Edward Snowden remains there, far from home.
I've talked about this in previous video versus Bob Lazar and Edward Snowden, how Edward Snowden kind of just like had to start traveling because he was exposing the government, and how Bob Lazar exposed literally aliens and Area 51 technology, and he's still in the US. So yeah, I don't know, that one's weird to me, but I'm surprised they didn't like take him in at the Hong Kong airport. I'm surprised he was able to leave the Hong Kong airport to even go to Russia.
It happened in the blink of an eye. 6 years ago, a little boy was scooped up by a maniac and thrown off a third-floor balcony at the Mall of America. Little Landon was with his mom and a family friend outside the Rainforest Cafe looking at the fake alligator when the madman picked them out at random.
I said, "Excuse me, do you not want us on this rock?" And he said,
"Oh no, you're fine, you're fine." And in that second is when he picked him up under his arms and ran and just threw him.
You must have been in complete shock.
Yes. I didn't think that was going to happen.
As Mom Carrie Hoffman raced to her injured son, the first miracle happened. 2 nurses saw the fall. When they reached Landon, they immediately began CPR.
They said he did not have a heartbeat, and he had bones sticking out of his skin, and they got him back to life.
Landon was rushed to Children's Hospital in Minneapolis, where a team of doctors were waiting for him. He remained in the hospital for 4 months, having more than 15 medical procedures. It sounds impossible that he would even survive, let alone be okay. How do you explain that?
It is impossible. It is very impossible. There's no way. He should not be alive.
The assailant, Emmanuel Aranda, suffered from schizophrenia. He had been banned twice from the mall before throwing Landon off the balcony.
Your act was evil and selfish. You chose to listen to the worst parts of yourself that day.
Amazingly, Carrie says that she has forgiven him.
This man didn't know me. He didn't know Landon. He didn't want to hurt us. He was just there because he was mad and wanted to kill somebody.
Carrie writes about her family's journey in a new book, Miracle at the Mall.
I wanted to get this all down in one spot so that I had this forever for me and my family.
And here's that miracle boy today. Landon loves hockey, hanging out with his buddies.
All right, Lando, we're going to do our eye movements. Okay, stay focused on that. I'm going to try to distract you. Don't let me.
He's still working on his recovery. We were with him as he got vision therapy to help control his eyes from drifting.
I see a clock that's like some numbers are out and some are like in.
So far, we're seeing his eye movements smooth out. His ability to converge his eyes is quickly improving. We're seeing improvement with his physical coordination.
From surviving an unspeakable act of evil at America's largest mall to a typical 11-year-old boy.
Come on, guys, let's go.
A true miracle.
Dude, that's insane. At first I was like, why the hell would a random dude just throw him off the thing? But then he said he suffered from schizophrenia, so that makes sense. And the mom is a good mom for forgiving that dude, because that's insane.
Have you ever wondered how thin the aluminum is between you and the outside of an airplane? It's just a big flying soda can.
Today, we're going to talk about some facts on gambling that most people don't know. Casinos are designed to make you forget time. There's no windows, no clocks, and non-stop lights and sound. It's scientifically engineered to keep you gambling longer without realizing how much time and money has passed. I used to be at this casino right here for days straight sometimes, losing all my money. I hustle all day long, convinced 2 or 3 of the homies to take me up there. I'll be sitting at the blackjack table so long, I'll tell them they could leave without me. By the time I left with no money, I had no idea what time it was. I'm permanently banned from this casino. There's a death bet market in the UK. You can legally place bets on celebrities' death. It's called the dead pool. Morbid, but it's 100% real. There's such a thing as a professional rock, paper, scissors league. And yes, people put money on matches. They even have mind games and strategies to read opponents. Some people are lottery rich for only 3 to 5 years. Studies show that 70% of all lottery winners go broke within the first 5 years, mostly because of poor spending, gambling, or bad investments. Slot machines have a built-in psychological trick called near misses. They're programmed to show you almost winning way more often than random chance would, making your brain release dopamine and tricking you into spinning again. So don't gamble, y'all.
Apple just turned a near-death experience into an absolutely jaw-dropping ad. Rick Shearman, an Australian swimmer, was dragged nearly 2 kilometers out to sea by a rip current, but he was wearing an Apple Watch Ultra. As a last-ditch effort, Rick activated the emergency SOS feature on his watch, and it immediately called rescue services and started feeding them live location updates from the middle of the ocean. A rescue helicopter was able to come save him just in time. And here's where the marketing gets brilliant. Apple took the actual audio from that rescue call, Rick's voice, the crashing waves, his heavy breathing, and they turned it into an ad.
So it's like serving, but I've been sucked right up to sea and fire and bang. I'm getting you help, okay? Stay on the phone.
It's raw and it's tense. You're not watching a commercial, you're watching someone else's survival story. And it presents Apple as a company that's literally saving people's lives. And they prove why their product and its features matter in the most impactful way possible. Waterproof, emergency calls, GPS tracking. all features that were essential in Rick's rescue. That is how you sell a product. Instead of telling customers what it can do, show them why it matters. That kind of storytelling hits way harder than any feature list ever could. Follow us for more bold and disruptive campaigns like this one.
A child was playing in the family's pigsty when he suddenly turned to his father and said, "One of the pigs has a crush on me." The father was puzzled. After carefully asking more questions, he discovered that one particular pig had recently been staring at the child from time to time. Even while eating, its eyes would frequently glance upward. Terrified, the father drove the pig away that very night. At first, the child thought the father simply wanted to eat pork, but later they uncovered a terrifying truth. It turns out normal pigs don't look at humans with unusual expressions. Any pig that glances upward while eating or keeps looking at you now and then has already developed a taste for meat and intelligence. You might think it likes you, but in reality, it's figuring out how to eat you.
Then do it, bro. Stand up and do something. Stand up and do something. Just do something then. So do something about it. Fight me. You're gonna go to sleep, old man. You're unk status now. Oh shit, alright. No, come on, man. Alright.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if that's real. Like, I mean, obviously they're beefing, but I don't know if it's real beef. If you guys didn't know, that's a streamer named Adin Ross and Shaq apparently like having beef, but like I can't even take Shaq seriously if I'm being honest. Like that could be all staged. It looks staged because why is he recording him before he did the move where he hits the Yeah, it was probably staged. Let's just say it was staged for the sake of argument.
When you go to Chipotle, you might notice that they only have these weird black forks. Now, you might think that this is just random, but it's actually what keeps you addicted to their food. And it's what makes them billions of dollars every single year. You see, they realized that by giving you their special fork instead of some dull metal one, it makes the food taste better.
Hey, pull up. Look where I'm at. He pulled up. Man, you know that pulled up.
This video was taken just moments before a man was gunned down on Facebook Live. On June 28, 2022, 46-year-old Terrell Smith, a local internet personality from Ypsilanti, Michigan, hopped onto Facebook Live to talk to his fans. Terrell was famous for his loud mouth, cocky attitude, and viral rants, building up thousands of loyal followers who loved the drama. But that drama turned deadly. As Terrell streamed from his front yard, someone in the comments started threatening him, claiming they were about to pull up.
You on this Facebook talking about come outside, you on Nash. I'm outside. I'm right here. I've been waiting in every damn thing. Hey, pull up. Look where I'm at. He pulled up. Man, you know that pulled up. Where the pull up to? Come on, y'all know that little nigga pulling up nowhere, man. He got knocked the out, man. That nigga go pull up on him, knocked him the fuck out, like at the end of the day.
Minutes later, a car pulled up outside his home. Out stepped 19-year-old Corian Brown, a man Terrell actually knew personally. They had a long-running beef, both online and in real life. Still live streaming, Terrell walked straight toward him. That's when Brown pulled out a 9mm pistol and opened fire, unloading over 30 rounds. Terrell was hit multiple times across the chest and torso and collapsed immediately as his phone kept recording, capturing the chaos. Paramedics rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Terrell died in his front yard with thousands of viewers having just witnessed his final moments. At first, Corian Brown disappeared, but after months on the run, on November 7, 2022, U.S. Marshals tracked him down and arrested him.
Can you say Joy Lane? What? Can you say Joy Lane?
Joy Lane?
Yeah. She's the reason why this is about to happen to you.
On April 16, 2017, Easter Sunday, 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. was walking home in Cleveland, Ohio, holding a plastic bag full of Easter candy he had just picked up for his grandkids. He had just finished eating dinner with his family and was taking a quiet stroll alone when a stranger pulled up beside him, got out of the car, and started recording.
Found somebody about to kill this guy right here. You're overhead. Oh. Watch it. Hi. Can you do me a favor? Can you say Joy Lane?
What?
Can you say Joy Lane?
Joy Lane?
Yeah. She's the reason why this is about to happen to you. How old are you?
Oh, man, look.
Right there on the sidewalk, the man pulled out a gun and shot him in the head, point blank, execution style. Robert's body crumbled to the ground next to the bag of candy, and the killer just walked away. The entire thing was posted on Facebook for the world to see. The shooter was 37-year-old Steve Stevens, a former mental health caseworker who had just broken up with his longtime girlfriend, Joy Lane. In the videos posted online, Steve claimed the breakup pushed him over the edge. He said he snapped, that he lost everything, and blamed Joy for the killing, saying, "She's the reason this is about to happen." He called it his Easter Day slaughter, and he claimed that he killed 13 people that day, though police found no evidence of any other victims besides Robert. For 48 hours, Stevens was on the run, sparking a massive manhunt across multiple states. Then, on April 18, a McDonald's employee in Erie, Pennsylvania recognized him in the drive-thru and called the police. Stevens fled with chicken nuggets, led police on a short chase, and then pulled over and shot himself in the head before he could be arrested. He never stood trial. He never explained why he chose Robert. All we know is that an innocent grandfather, a man who was loved by everyone, was gunned down for nothing. All because a coward couldn't handle a breakup. If you guys want to see more crazy videos like this, then like and follow.
Dude, I remember hearing about that story, like, I don't even remember, like, way back when, like, probably, like, 5+ years ago, and I was just like, what? For a breakup? That's crazy. This is why sometimes girls and guys, both of y'all, we gotta be careful, because, like, you'll do something to somebody, like, not even just, like, a casual, like, breakup with, like, clarity and good conclusions or whatever the hell. I'm talking about, like, if you just straight up betray someone, like, straight up cheat on someone, like, something, they can go, like, crazy and start doing some stuff like that, like, that's why we gotta be careful.
Hold up. What did Michelle Obama just say?
I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender. And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a black man.
What?
Would you care to share that journey of...
Don't you guys start. She was referring to Marlon Wayans when she said, as a black man. It's not a game. Cool interview. I miss Marlon Wayans. I miss his show too. The Wayans brothers. Particularly as a black man, she was referring to Marlon Wayans when she said that. Let's not forget that. This was a great interview, guys. Go check it out for yourself. Amazing interview. He's also coming out with a new movie soon. You gotta see that. I miss the Obamas. They did a great job running this country. And now I see she has a podcast that I watch from time to time. Not that bad at all. Marlon Wayans was hilarious in scary movies. I know y'all remember that. Get ready. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just letting everybody know that Obama had an interview with Marlon Wayans, and those are my two favorite people. And I watched the whole thing, and it was an amazing interview.
Meet Shedeur Sanders, an NFL player who was just drafted in the 5th round of the NFL draft. And that's a problem for Shedeur, because see how the draft works is all the best players are supposed to get chosen in the 1st round, and then the 2nd round, 3rd round, so on and so forth. Again, Shedeur gets chosen in the 5th round. But see, people projected Shedeur to go in the 1st round because he's so good. People were losing it. They said NFL. NFL said what? Everybody said, okay, first of all, watch your tone. Second of all, why ain't they picking Shedeur Sanders? The NFL said. The NFL ain't say a word. So people take to Twitter, take to online. Donald Trump is saying, look, NFL owners are stupid. He then goes on to say Shedeur has phenomenal genes, all caps. Yeah. Now, Donald Trump is mentioning phenomenal genes because of Shedeur Sanders' father. And here is where the problems begin. Meet Shedeur Sanders' father, Deion Sanders, one of the greatest athletes ever. Yeah, I didn't say football, I said ever. That boy was so good, he played both baseball and football professionally at the same time. Deion Sanders is also considered by many to be the greatest cornerback of all time, which was his position. He stopped the ball from being passed to other people. Now, Deion was considered by many to be quite flashy as well. Okay, Unc, peep the shoes, stun. And sports organizations have a history of preferring humble athletes. Peep the earrings, by the way, stun. Deion Sanders, anything but humble, but the boy could play. You could not say nothing to Deion. Now, why I mention all that is because Deion Sanders seems to have passed on some of his confidence to his son. And through many NFL sources, it's basically concluded that teams didn't choose Shedeur because maybe he was a little too confident. Maybe his father's a little too confident. In a couple of NFL teams' words, it felt like Shedeur was choosing us, not we were choosing him. Coupled with the fact that a while back, Deion Sanders said, look, if a team that Deion didn't like chose his son, he would advise his son not to go with that team. And here's where things start to get wicked. NFL owners are historically all about control. So the fact that Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, they choosing where they want to go and all that, rubbed them the wrong way, allegedly. So they decided to teach the Sanders a lesson, saying, look, we choose where you go. You going in the 5th round because we chose so. But this really pissed off NFL fans and NFL sports analysts, especially because at the end of the day, the boy could play. Shedeur himself says, look, I got drafted at the end of the day. We finna play ball. He looked very excited that he got drafted, and he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. And apparently I'm hearing his nightmare is just beginning because he got drafted. What's wrong with the Cleveland Browns? I don't watch NFL like that, so y'all gotta let me know in the comments. Now, NFL owners, NFL teams, at the end of the day, are still staying quiet about this, and they're not saying why he was chosen in the 5th round or not. Weirdo behavior, sure, but now Shedeur has a chance to prove them all wrong.
You know those influencers who film themselves handing out money to random strangers on the street? Well, you might be surprised to learn that some of them are scammers, including this guy. His name's Jay. And Jay is 23 during this time, living in New Jersey, and he's one of those influencers who got big by filming himself handing out money to strangers. And he has built himself up a nice following doing that, getting nearly 1 million followers on Instagram. But one day in 2019, he starts screwing it all up. Because bro gets greedy and he starts thinking, I'm gonna start conning my fans. Now, stealing from his fans is actually pretty easy for him. I mean, they trust him. Because not only does he come across as a guy who's already very wealthy and successful at business, but more importantly, on social media, he really presents himself as a very spiritual guy, a devout Muslim who would never rip anyone off. I mean, look at these videos he makes of himself looking all religious.
I'm praying right where the prophet used to pray. That's the greatest feeling ever. It's worth more than $1 million.
Apparently not, because at some point Jay starts an investment company called Halal Capital LLC. And he calls it halal because with this, he's going to target mostly his Muslim American following. So he tells his followers to invest with him because he's doing it the halal way. And that he's going to, in turn, invest their money into stocks, electronics, PPE equipment, stuff like that. He also starts teaching his own online courses where he teaches people how to get rich quick.
For the first 1,000 people to sign up, they'll be mentored by me personally.
Yeah, huge red flag. Now, investment companies are nothing new. But here's the problem with Jay's investment company. He doesn't really seem to be investing it or putting it towards stocks at all. Instead, he takes their money and just pockets it and puts it into his own personal bank account. And of course, he spends a lot of it on himself. Like he's got to make himself look rich and successful to flex to his followers on Instagram. He also apparently uses it to fund those viral giveaways where he films himself giving away money to random strangers. And so a lot of these people are being handed what is basically stolen money. Regardless, these giveaways are becoming really popular. In fact, by 2020, they've become so popular that like 50 Cent appears in one of his videos. And there you can see Jay handing workers money through the drive-thru, and here you can see 50 Cent rolling up. He also gets the rapper Fabulous to appear in a video.
Got my brother Fabulous right here. What's up, y'all? Oh my God!
And that's all great for Jay that his videos are doing well, but eventually some of those people who invested with his investment company, they come asking for their money, and Jay doesn't have it. So he starts taking money from new investors to pay off the old investors. And this is where he gets into a Ponzi scheme. And this Ponzi scheme actually works for a while. But pretty quickly, Jay runs up his tab so high that it just isn't enough anymore. So he comes up with yet another, even douchier plan to con more money from his followers. One day, he gets on social media and he offers to buy out his followers Bitcoin from them in exchange for cash. And here you can see he's holding up a sign explaining exactly what he's trying to do. And he claims he's going to buy it from them for more than what it's worth, so they would be making money by selling it to him. And if you're like, Ray, that doesn't make any sense. I agree, but it's a scam, and scams are built on lies. Like, they don't have to make sense. Anyway, a lot of people give him their Bitcoin expecting cash in return. But when it comes time to pay them the cash, Jay will say that he wire transferred the money, and he'll even send screenshots of a confirmation that he did. But unfortunately, the confirmations end up being fake. I guess he photoshops them or something. Anyway, regardless, this works for Jay, and it works really well. Because at this point, the dude has scammed his followers and other members of the Muslim community out of $8 million. $8 million. But the crazy thing is, people love him so much because he's constantly making videos of himself handing out cash to strangers. So most people don't suspect a guy like Jay would ever do something shady like this. Until... Here's the thing. You can only not pay people back for so long before they start to get pissed off. And eventually, rumors start to swirl online that Jay is just another internet fraudster who's out ripping people off. And around this time, people finally start reporting him to the FBI. And so, boom, the feds and the IRS start investigating and looking into him. Oh, but it gets so much worse. Because around 2021, an Instagram troll account appears out of nowhere called Jay Mazini Scam. And this account posts and bashes Jay every single day. It calls out a ton of his scams and makes him look really bad. And Jay, he thinks this guy started the account, Amjad. And Amjad is 29, he's a former associate of Jay's, and he apparently didn't start this account, but Jay thinks he did. And so Jay hits him up one night, and he's just like, hey, do you want to meet up for coffee and talk about all this? And Amjad's like, all right. And so they meet up near Jay's apartment, and they're sitting in Jay's car talking, and suddenly, boom, two masked goons get in the back seat, and Jay starts driving. Like they're trying to kidnap Amjad over an Instagram troll account. So at some point, the car slows down enough to make a right turn. And Amjad's like, yeah, f*** all this, and bam, he jumps out of the car, and he starts running. And Jay and the goons, they get out and they start chasing him. Then Amjad sees an alleyway, and he runs down it, but like, oh damn, it's a dead end. And so he sees a staircase up the side of a building, and so he runs straight up it. But again, he's at another dead end, because he's now standing on a balcony. But the two goons are still closing in on him, and so he jumps down 2 stories, and kaboom, he hits the ground, and he sprains his ankle. So he can't run anymore. And of course, the goons catch up to him, and they beat the shit out of him, and they force him into the back of the car, and they speed away. Then they drive him somewhere, and they put him in some basement, and they strip all of his clothes off of him, so now he's completely naked. And one of the goons has a machete, and he's like threatening Amjad with it. And they're like telling him to access the Instagram page and delete it. And naked Amjad is like, I don't have access to the account, it's not my account. Anyway, they beat him up some more, and they don't get anything out of him, so eventually they let him go. And of course, he goes right to the police and reports what happened. And 2 days later, bam, police arrest Jay. Here's his mugshot. And so now he's charged with the kidnapping and the assault, but while he's there in jail, they go ahead and they charge him for all those other scams he was pulling. But then, in a weird twist, Jay's wife, because I guess Jay is married, she offers Amjad $200,000 to change his story and tell police that Jay didn't actually kidnap him. And the craziest part is Amjad, he says, aye, and he takes the bribe, and he agrees to change his story about the kidnapping. And so then, bam, police arrest Jay's wife for offering a bribe, and they arrest Amjad for taking the bribe. Here's his mugshot, and here's Jay's wife's mugshot. And I couldn't actually find any more information on their convictions. However, Jay actually does get convicted, and he takes a plea deal, and he gets 7 years in prison. That is crazy.
Dude, that's an insane story. Mostly for someone that claimed that they were highly religious. He was like, oh, I'm super religious, and then kidnaps a dude that was not even the dude that did what he thought he did. That whole story was just like a mind twist.
In 2006, a teenage girl was house sitting for her aunt when she was visited by her boyfriend Matt and 2 classmates, Brian and Tori. The 4 hung out for a while, and Cassie gave them a quick tour of the house. What she didn't know was that Brian secretly unlocked the basement door before leaving, setting the stage for a sinister plan. Later that night, Brian and Tori returned, dressed in dark clothing and wearing masks. They slipped inside through the unlocked basement door, determined to terrorize Cassie. They started by making loud noises, hoping to lure her and Matt downstairs. When that failed, they cut the power, expecting her to investigate. But Cassie, now anxious and uneasy, stayed put. Realizing their plan wasn't working, the boys turned some lights back on to avoid suspicion. Cassie's unease grew when she noticed one of the dogs growling toward the basement stairs. Matt, sensing her fear, offered to stay the night, but his mother insisted he come home. Now alone in the house, Cassie had no idea the worst was yet to come. Once Matt was gone, Brian and Tori cut the power again. When Cassie still didn't come downstairs, they decided to strike. Armed with knives, they crept upstairs and launched a brutal attack, stabbing her repeatedly before fleeing the scene. As the investigation unfolded, detectives uncovered chilling evidence, a video recorded by Brian and Tori before the murder. In it, they gleefully detailed their plan, expressing their desire to kill, and revealing that their inspiration came straight from the horror movie Scream.
Spontaneous human combustion, the self-destruct glitch. Imagine you're sitting in your living room reading a book, sipping some tea, nothing out of the ordinary. Then without warning, you burst into flames. Not like you knocked over a candle flames. Not like your clothes caught fire flames. No, you ignite from the inside out. And by the time someone finds you, there's nothing left but a pile of ash. And maybe a pair of legs that somehow survived. This is spontaneous human combustion, one of the strangest, most unsettling phenomena ever recorded. Science has a lot of answers, but on this one, they're beat. Some half-assed explanations include the wick effect, where body fat acts like candle wax, slowly burning the person over time. But if that's the case, why does it sometimes stop halfway? Take Margaret Hogan, for example, an unusually hot 89-year-old widow from Dublin. On March the 28th, 1970, she was found burned almost to nothing in her home. The plastic flowers on the table had melted into sludge, and the television screen 12 feet away was warped beyond recognition. And yet, her feet and both legs below the knees were untouched. An inquest was held. The official cause of death? Burning. The cause of the fire? Unknown. Which means either 1. The human body has a hidden self-destruct button. 2. Some people accidentally trigger an irreversible system error. 3. Reality occasionally just Alta 4 people in the most dramatic way possible. Whichever one it is, the conclusion is the same. If one day you start feeling a little too warm, and you're nowhere near an open flame, you might have about 3 seconds to figure out why.
Here's what a body looks like that's heading towards diabetes. I'm going to show you the signs, why it's happening, and what to do. These next 90 seconds could probably save someone's life, and if your body looks like this, chances are you're headed towards type 2 diabetes. Dark patches on the neck or underneath the arms, skin tags. Another sign is if your waistline is more than half your height. Also swelling of the feet because your body is retaining water, and high blood pressure. Another sign is if you're starting to get a fat neck, making it harder and more uncomfortable to sleep, which can cause sleep apnea. Flabby arms or a hump on the back of your neck. If you touch your stomach and it's hard and dense, you're insulin resistant because your body is stuck in fat storing mode. And what's crazy is you can go to your doctor, but you're just gonna get a pill for each of these symptoms. But these are all just signs, and you can do something about it today. Why is this happening? It's because our blood sugar is too high. Our bloodstream should only have a teaspoon of sugar in it at most at a time. But with our modern food environment and the foods that we're eating, we have well over that in our bloodstream. But the key to controlling that is right here. What is the difference between these two? Well, one has fiber and one does not. Do you want to get off the road to type 2 diabetes? Well, all the fiber from our food is being removed in the food industry, and so we need to make sure that we're finding a way to put it back in. Don't consume anything without eating fiber first. You could supplement, that's what I do, or you can add a lot of non-starchy vegetables into your diet, like these.
Royal Caribbean is unfortunately in the news again today, and I want to say this, it's not something that Royal Caribbean did, it's something that a loser passenger did. A passenger, 18-year-olds, beat and bloodied a man up enough to where this man became unconscious. And before I get into the details of what actually happened, I do want to say that the 18-year-old kid that beat this man up has been charged with a felony. It was a man and his wife in an elevator with a bunch of these kids, and they were trying to get up to the 8th floor. These kids were jumping in the elevator, swaying back and forth, and so the wife said, "Hey, could you guys please stop you're going to maybe break the elevator. The kids decided to say, "Bitch, who are you talking to?" Then the husband said, he kind of yelled at that point because they cussed his wife out. He said, "Please stop jumping in the elevator." They got to the 8th floor and the man and his wife were trying to get out, but the kids barricaded them in the elevator. So the man and his wife pushed their way out of the elevator, and before you know it, the man said he woke up in a pile of blood. These 18-year-old kids started beating and kicking this man until he became unconscious. All because these kids were being, they were potentially going to break the elevator, and the people were asking them nicely to please stop jumping in the elevator. There is a problem with parents in this world. I'm not a parent at all, but I can tell you, a lot of these kids that are so entitled enough to beat a passenger up to where they become unconscious, their parents need to be locked up. Well, the parents are probably locked up because they have no parental guidance, and these kids are acting like idiots.
Yeah, the video just ended right there. I sometimes I hate when I'll watch a video and then it just end abruptly, and a lot of you guys be thinking I'm the one doing it, but I'm like, dude, the TikTok just ended. I can't continue the TikTok if it's ended. I'm not the one ending the story. The story just ended abruptly by itself. So stop blaming me. It's not my fault. But I wonder if don't crews have police or security or something? They have to, because you can't have that many people without at least some type of security or enforcement. But yeah, it was definitely, I would definitely say I'd blame the parents for that one, because why are you jumping in an elevator? Someone asks you to stop and then you're going to get mad because they ask you to stop. It's a good reason why they're asking you to stop. Happy Friday, y'all. Hopefully y'all have an amazing weekend. I'll catch y'all next week. We're dropping a video on Monday. So see y'all then.
Thank you all